All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the JumpX Performance Coaching Podcast. We're going to learn all about jumping higher. I'm here with Tom Barnes. All right, what number episode is this?
28.
28, so episode number 28. Pretty sick. Today we're all going to be talking about basically realistic expectations for results in jump training, right? Because sometimes there's a misconception with that. People think they should be progressing more than they should be, to be honest, and also what a good progression is in terms of results, right?
Yeah.
So,
and why a lot of people tend to quit because they think they've reached their genetic limit or something along those lines. But a lot of them are only like a year and a half in their training, and their beginner gains have stopped, and they think, oh well, this is it. Yeah. But that's what we're gonna.
Because a few of our athletes have been asking us about this. We've had a few convos with a few of our athletes talking about this. And we thought this would be a really good podcast topic to talk about.
I think so, yeah.
Today and to dive into, right? So we'll just jump straight into it, to be honest. So basically, what do you feel like, Tom, good results look like for first 6 months of jump training if someone is training well and properly?
So on JumpX?
Yeah, if they're on JumpX.
Okay, if they're on JumpX and they've done nothing before?
Yeah.
It's just like a normal
Say they're
typical basketball
say they're 16.
16.
They play basketball 3 times a week. Never done any sort of weight training or jump training.
I feel like if it's literally their first 6 months.
Yeah.
8 to 10.
8 to 10 in the first 6 months.
Well, the way I was picturing it in my head, I was like, well, if I just picture a guy who's 6 foot and he's just like, if that's the rim, he's just like touching it with his tip of his finger. In 6 months, that's, to get to dunking, that's like that, which is 5 inches. Then add like 3 inches on top of that, maybe doing like 2-handers, off backboards and stuff. So that works out and equates to about 8 to 10 inches.
Yeah.
So that's the way I've thought about it. And I've seen that happen time and time again from people who've started from nothing and then they were scuffed. Yeah.
Almost spilled my coffee. But
I've seen that happen so many times. It's happened. I don't know if it happened with you, but that happened with me. My first 6 months, it just went. So that's why I think 6.
In my first year, that's what happened to me. And then it slowed down after that, and that's what happened to my brother as well. But the thing is, there's a variable at play there, right? It depends where your starting vert is as well.
True.
Like if you start at 20 inches, that's a very low starting point and there's a lot of potential for you to grow. But if you start at 40 inches, right, it's not really realistic to gain 8 to 10 inches in your first 6 months.
Well, that's why it's like, you're born with the qualities that people are already trying to get in the beginning. Like the RFD.
So if you're 16 and you're in that scenario playing 3 times a week, right, haven't done any training, but your vertical's at 40 inches, I wouldn't say it's realistic to gain 8 to 10 inches.
No, that is true.
It'd be less than that because your ceiling's higher, right? It'd be less than that. Now, if you're someone like my brother who's like unathletic as fuck, literally started out with a 20-inch vert, maybe less because of his height and reach.
I swear it was like 19.
Yeah, it was like less. But he gained within his first 6 months, like probably like 8 inches.
Yeah, the second half of last year, right?
Yeah.
Because he was doing 2-handers.
Yeah.
1 foot, 2 foot, all that kind of shit. So.
And for someone like me, I started at the same point as him. Same sort of scenario, right? So there's a lot of room to improve. But someone like you, where do you start? Like 30, 35?
No. Well, I think it was 28.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't touch the rim.
And then, how much did you gain in your first year?
Probably like 10.
10 plus inches on your vert. Yeah.
It was around 36, 38 at the start of the second year.
Yeah. And in terms of how quickly you can see these results, there's like a bit of variability in that too. So like one of our clients, like Sam, he saw results really quickly because one, we got him stronger, but two, he had a lot of weight to lose, right? And if you're in that scenario where you're overweight and you've got a lot of weight to lose, you can progress very quickly and progress more quickly.
Yeah.
Than that, right? Because you could add like 10 inches to your vert in like a few months if you're go from 120 kilos, say, to like 90.
Yeah.
And you cut that sort of weight.
You don't even necessarily get stronger, even if you maintain your strength. That's still better.
Yeah.
Because your relative strength is going to be way higher. You're going to be lighter.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, if you're like detrained at that point, and you got a lot of weight to lose, holy shit, that's a recipe to get some crazy
Yeah.
gains in like 6 months, right?
Oh shit.
So
Yeah, but it does. Although we're like answering questions and like throwing numbers out there, it always comes back to people DMing us on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, whatever, and like, oh, if I, do this program or this program, how many inches will I gain?
there's no guarantee.
You can never
There's
give
so
a
much
certain,
variability.
If anyone gives you a certain number, I would not go with that person. I'd go as far as to say.
That's why we guarantee you'll get better training.
You'll get
with us,
better.
but we can't guarantee a certain amount of inches.
Yeah.
Because it's just like we're not lying. We're like, that's just us lying to you. All right? It's not. It's not like we're doing you a literal disservice to you by telling you you're going to gain this many inches. Like, because it's a lie. We can't. There's no guarantee. No one can guarantee that.
It's like you can't really win either way because like if we say okay, you're going to gain 4.6 inches in 2 months, and then you do less than that, then you're going to be disappointed and be like, fuck these guys.
Yeah.
But if you do more, in your head, you kind of like already undershot it.
Yeah.
So you're not going to train as hard once you reach that goal.
And it's
so
like, it's not even the right mindset to approach training as well.
I agree.
Because it's just too outcome focused and dependent. And
Short term.
Short term. And if you're thinking like that, you're not going to get anywhere with your training. You're not going to see results. You're not going to get to the levels you actually want to. Because you're too focused on the results when you need to be focused on all the things you should be doing to get better. Or you should be focused on getting all your training sessions in consistently, eating right, jumping regularly, actually working towards like hitting your dunks, actually trying to jump higher, trying to drive intent with all your sessions, As long as you're doing everything you can in your power to improve, you're going to improve and you're going to see some really good results. And don't get too caught up in what results you're seeing, all right? Because there's so many variables that influence that as well.
That's it.
Right?
Yeah.
So we were talking to a client recently, he's kind of getting like a bit stuck in his head about being plateaued for the past couple months, right? And that's very normal.
Yeah.
Why are you looking at me like that?
I was like, who is it?
Well, I'm not going to say who it is.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, it's very normal,
Yeah.
right? For that to happen, right? So like for the average person, say they've been doing a bit of weight training and not detrained, like that sort of situation, right? Where there's that young guy that's 16, hasn't done anything, playing basketball, blah, blah, blah. You said like 8 to 10 inches, right? For the average person that's done a bit of vert training, has done weight training, all that, it's probably more realistic in the first 6 months, anywhere from like 3 to 6 inches, right?
Yeah.
Right? Somewhere like that. And in that situation, it's not like you're just going to steadily gain inches. You might go the first month, gain 4 inches, then the next 3 months, you don't see anything, and then out of nowhere, you go up again.
You go up like 2 or 3 again.
Yeah, or you might notice the first month, you might say you gain 3 inches, then after that, your vert actually goes down, and then you gain another like 4 inches and goes up. Right? That's where you can't get too caught up in the results, the outcome. Even though it's important, you want to have goals there, and you want to make sure you're on the right track, doing all the right things.
You've got to do the right things.
But it's just that's just the crazy thing about this whole journey and about this whole training and the variability, results, and like your vertical. The other thing is your vertical is going to change day to day.
Yeah.
Week to week, you're not going to jump the same all the time. There's going to be weeks where you're jumping 3 inches lower. There's going to be weeks where you're jumping 3 inches higher. There's going to be weeks where you're jumping where you should.
I feel like that's such a misconception. Like for a lot of people, they kind of assume that they're like a video game character, and once you've unlocked a certain vert, you should just be able to pull it out on any day.
No.
So it's like, oh, well, why can't I get my... They get the head at the rim one day, and they can't do it the day after. They're like, why can't I do that? Well,
yeah. Well, it's like, for example, when I hit my first windmill, but then I didn't windmill for like 3-4 months after that. You know?
Exactly.
Like, you don't want to have the expectation, I hit my first two-hander and then expect every fucking session after that to hit it. Again, it's not going to be like that. You might go a while without hitting it again, and then out of nowhere, your vert goes up a bit, then you start hitting it consistently.
That's it,
Right?
Yeah.
So it happens,
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like
if you hit your first windmill, you can't come back to the arc the day after and expect to hit it again after you've just had a 2-hour dunk session.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're on like on a lower level of vertical, like on the lower end, you can maybe get away with stuff like that. But if you're really trying to push the boundaries you know, you're getting like a 40+ inch vert.
Yeah.
You can't expect to rock up every day and put your body through that and it, you know, be fine with it.
Like, especially if you're going through these hypertrophy and strength phases in your training, right? Expect to jump lower throughout the entirety of doing them, right? And some people will hear that and maybe get deterred. But if you want fucking real results and you want to really fucking improve, you're going to have to deal with that. You're going to have to accept. You're going to have to accept that. You got to accept your vertical going down, right? And that's just the reality of seeing real improvements and seeing real results.
If you don't want to, if you don't want to accept it, but what's going to happen is
if you don't want to accept it, then you better be okay with staying where you are and never improving.
It's just going to go like that, but like kind of stay within that like little range. Because you're gonna, you know, you're gonna train, be like, oh fuck yeah, this is sick. You see your vert go down, you stop training. Because you stop training, you recover from it. Then you start jumping higher again, and then the same thing keeps repeating. But if you're not happy to,
either that or improving extremely slowly.
Which why would you want to do that?
Yeah. So you need to be willing to see a vertical drop for periods of time.
Yeah.
All right.
Especially like when you're jumping our best right now.
No,
I'm happy with it.
So for example, my highest jump ever was last year, right? In September?
What about dunk show?
Yeah, the dunk show.
No, October.
October?
No, November, bro. It was November.
No, it wasn't November. It
was when Nathan was here.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, end of October.
No, it wasn't. It was October. It must have been October.
Okay, yeah. End of last year.
So my highest jump was October last year, right? Ever. I got my head like above the rim from what I've seen, right?
9/11.
And I haven't jumped that high since then. And how long has it been?
8 months.
9 months? 8 months. No, I haven't hit that peak ever like since then. It's been 8-9 months and I haven't jumped higher than that peak. Right? And that was one scenario on one day where I was hopped up on caffeine, adrenaline, and all that.
Stars had a line.
All the stars aligned and I jumped my highest ever. Right? Now I haven't quote unquote progressed since then. It's been 8-9 months, right? But I have progressed, right? Let me elaborate on that. My average jump has gone up.
Exactly.
So on average, I'm getting my head at the rim on normal jumps. Like I've seen videos of me going for backboard lobs or backboard lob windmills and getting my head at the rim.
Yeah, I saw that video.
All right, so my average jump, I'm consistently jumping high now, whereas before it took a super peak out day to jump that high, and on average my head was a few inches lower than the rim.
And guess what?
Yeah,
he's okay with it.
Yeah,
because he knows he's like fucking building up all this potential, all this like fatigue and all this training that's behind, and he's gonna let it shine in dunk camp, and he's gonna beat that old score by a lot.
Because the past few months, I've accepted the reality that if I want to jump my best at dunk camp, I'm going to need to jump below my peak for probably the next 3-4 months and not jump how I want to and sacrifice that. Because I've been killing myself in the gym through like strength cycles, power cycles, doing crazy volume, right? And that takes a toll on my vertical and my performance in dunk sessions, right? And that's a sacrifice I needed to make and I need to make if I want to jump my best at dunk camp, right? Because it's not about me jumping well now; it's about me jumping well at dunk camp.
Again, it always comes back to delayed gratification.
You need it, You need it if you wanna get fucking crazy, truly crazy. You need a delayed gratification. That's where it's just like you just need to enjoy the process, right?
Yeah.
Like for example, like for me in my next cycle is going to be easier leading up to dunk camp because that's going to allow all this fatigue that's being built up and pent up in my training to dissipate. And then at dunk camp, reveal my true peak and real vertical. Right?
And it's like, you could, if you wanted to, you could like peak yourself right now and you would beat your old previous best but like, why would you do that before dunk camp? It's just stupid.
Yeah. We tell our athletes, like, look, if you want to do this, like, we can peak you can see how much higher you're jumping, or we can just keep training harder, which you're going to progress faster doing, but you just won't see your true peak for now.
Yeah.
All right?
And have an event come up, then we do it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the same scenario with you, right? You're killing yourself. You're not.
Yeah.
You're not jumping your highest right now.
No.
You're not at your potential right now.
Yeah.
Of fatigue.
We're probably like 3 inches off. Nah.
You? That's fucked.
Like 3 inches off.
That's really fucked because you're getting your head like above the rim, bro.
I think I'm gonna have a fucked height check at dunk camp.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
So.
Like that's crazy, right? And that's just kind of like I hope this like fills you guys in about the realities of actually truly training properly to improve your vertical.
Yeah.
right? This is how you see real improvements. Like progress is literally like, if you guys are watching on YouTube, it's literally like go up, down, go up, down, go up, down, go up, down, and then over time, over the course of like 3-4 years, if you're looking at this sort of trend on a graph, it's trending upwards, even though it's going up and down constantly.
That's it. And
it's like stocks. If you guys know stocks, right? You invest in blue chip stocks. If you guys don't know anything about this, right? It's like there's going to be times where the stock drops heaps, right? You can either freak out. You can either freak out, quit, pull out of the stock, or you can accept that, hey, in the long run, this stock's going to go up a lot. I'm going to stay in. I'm going to stay in. I'm going to trust the process, and trust that in 5-10 years, I'm going to be making a lot of money off this stock, even though it's down right now.
You don't lose your money if you haven't sold your stock.
Yeah. And that's the same with vertical jump training. You can tie that into vertical jump training. You can, some people freak out, the vert goes down, they pull out, oh, this is not working, oh, I'm not seeing the results I want to, oh, blah, 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 and have a little cry.
Don't be soft.
Right? But, like, if you want to progress, you want to see results, real results, like, you can't be thinking like that.
Yeah.
You can't get too caught up in that, right? And then, like, part of that's, like, part of that is, like, just me being a little bit empathetic here. Part of that is, like, most people don't understand this, right? And don't actually have that sort of knowledge and understand, oh, that's what's meant to happen. And that's okay. And that's okay. And that's why we're making this podcast for you guys and filling you guys in with this sort of information, right?
Don't get us wrong. Obviously, we're basically saying, like, shut the fuck up if your vote goes down. Like, it's meant to happen. But, like, at the same time, we're not acting here, like, all high and mighty. Because, you know, at the end of the day, we still feel the same emotions, like, if we have a bad jump session.
Yeah.
Like, we don't go home like, oh, I love that, you know, that was a great jump session. Fucking backroom tennis space was great. Yeah. Like, we get the same feeling, like, it's annoying. But if you just think and put yourself in your own shoes of your future self, then you kind of, it doesn't hit as bad. Because you're like, oh, eventually I'm going to have this amazing feeling.
Oh, yeah, like, I hate seeing my vert go down. Yeah. I don't like it.
Exactly.
I don't like it. I just want to jump high all the time. So, you know, I want to show, like, everyone we train, oh, shit, like, you know, this guy's about it as well. Like, you can do all this crazy stuff. You know, I want to inspire others, but can't be like that all the time. And I have to, like, constantly remind myself. And you have to constantly remind yourself, like, hey, like, you know, it's okay. You're not meant to be jumping well now. Like, you're sacrificing now for your future self. You know, you're delaying the gratification. So, and it will pay off tenfold.
I reckon I would go as far as to say that my biggest pet peeve in this whole vertical jump world is people asking the question of, well, firstly, there's like, what's the best vertical jump exercise? I hate that one. But the second one is, how many inches of vert will I gain? Yeah. Because it's such a shit mentality.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I understand it because I was there. I'm sure you were there when you were younger.
But it's kind of like most of you guys probably are listening. I play basketball at some point, or basketball players. Yeah. It's like asking that is like asking, like, when you're. It's like asking a basketball coach, or how fast can I be an NBA player? It's like that. It's the same question. It's almost the same thing.
Or how long do I need to train for to shoot 50% from three?
Yeah. Like there's not.
It's impossible.
Yeah, it's not. There's not, like, how do you answer that question? There's no guarantee on that.
It's not even that. It's like, you know? If you're asking that question, it's kind of telling me that you don't have the right mentality to be in it for the long run. Because you're just asking, how long do I get this? Oh, once I get this, do I just stop training? Yeah,
but like tying that back into basketball again, like, you know, if you're going out there shooting hoops every day, you're training properly, you're doing all your basketball sessions, actively really trying your best to actually get better at basketball, that you're gonna get somewhere. Right? You're gonna get a lot better.
Because you're doing all the
right things, right? So that's what you should be focusing on. And that's what most of you guys understand and you should focus on, right? And it's the same with vertical jump training. Focus on doing all those right things and you're going to fucking get to what you want to be.
That's it, yeah.
You know? So, all right. So going back to, like, realistic expectations. So obviously, the longer you train in this world of improving your vertical jump, the more the returns from the fruit of your labor diminish.
AKA diminishing returns.
Yes. All right. So for yourself, would it be realistic to say 1 inch a year is fucking good? Right?
Yeah.
That's fucking good, though. That's a good fucking year.
Yeah. I don't think I'm at the point where it's 1 inch a year.
1 inch every 6 months, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
For me, maybe it's like 1 to 2 inches every 6 months.
Yeah.
For me.
Which isn't with the amount of for a lot of people, the amount of stuff we do in the gym, to improve our vertical, to get 1 inch out of your vert just from that, people will be like, "Fuck that."
Yeah.
But you'll be training for like 3+ years at least.
That's where you just gotta really love the process. And it's
Yeah.
fun. Like that's where like
Oh yeah.
that's where like having all these like other little goals, like I want to hit this strength number, or I want to hit this trick dunk, you know. I want to hit this dunk on 9 foot, or I want to hit this dunk on 9.8, or you know, I want to power clean this much, or I want to fucking sprint this time. You know, having all these like little goals helps to keep me motivated, because like they're other ways of tracking progress. You know,
the way I think about it is, we're working hard every day in the gym, jump higher, and it sucks sometimes, like doing hard sets or whatever. But it's like,
overall it's fun.
Yeah,
right?
overall it's fun. It's like, you only gain 1 inch a year on your vertical. But like when you think about it, 10 years down the line, obviously not, it's going to pay off. But then, you're in a gym session, it's hard. Just think to yourself, do you have a 50-inch vert? If the answer is no, shut the fuck up, do your set. Like, there's only one way you're going to get there, and that's doing those little small steps.
Yeah.
So you really only have one choice if you actually want to get there.
Yeah.
There's no like fast way of getting there, so.
Yeah. No, facts. So yeah, the longer you train, like less slower you're going to see results, and the more diminishing returns.
Yeah.
There is, right? But
I think for most of the people listening to this podcast, they probably don't need to worry about that stage just yet. Even for people like Sam.
Yeah. Like how long you been training? 5 years?
28, 5 years.
Yeah, you're 5 years. I've been like vert training for
3?
No, 4 now because it's 2023.
True,
100% 4 years.
Yeah, but I met you in your second year, right? 2020. We started 2019.
First year and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
2023, bro.
That's fucked.
Yeah.
Because you were dunking when I met you.
Oh yeah, because I didn't need that much of vert to dunk. I didn't need a crazy. I only probably need 25 inches to dunk.
That's crazy.
Or maybe a little bit more, maybe 25, 28, something like that. I don't know.
But I wasn't with you for those sessions where you know those really old clips you post on Instagram where you like getting rim stuffed off 1 foot or that.
Yeah.
I wasn't around for those days. That was like Marshall or some was that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like those are OG days. So.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the other thing too, right? Height comes into play in terms of your vertical too. Like the taller you are, like it's not as realistic. Like if you're like 6'6", it's not as realistic to have a 45-inch vert. If you're like 5'10", it's a little bit more realistic to have a 45-inch vert. If you're like 5'10",
you just see it more. See, that's the thing. It's really hard to say that because I'm gonna say that is true because it seems that like
there's always exceptions to the rule.
Exceptions.
There's always,
but
like that's where there's just so much variability. But I'm just saying for the most part, that's what you see most of the time. There's always going to be people that are different. Of course, there's someone that's 6'6" out there that has a 45-inch vert.
I'm just trying to think out of the box here though. Like
Zion.
There's probably 2 reasons though. Maybe because you're told it's hard to get that vertical, but the second reason is the like population bias. Because how many people are 5'10" versus 6'6"? You have more people. You're more likely to get an outlier.
That's definitely a factor. That's a good. That's
why US, China do so well in the Olympics. Yeah. But if you've got 1 billion people, well, US doesn't. But if you have 1 billion people, you're gonna get a fucking freak athlete eventually.
That's a very good point. Yeah. That is a very good point. But that's something I've never thought about. Because I heard a crazy statistic somewhere. I'm not 100% sure how accurate it is, but I'm sure it's like somewhere around this ballpark. I'm pretty sure like somewhere. I think it's like there's only 10% of males are above 6 foot, something like that. Something crazy. Like it's a low percentage. Yeah.
10%.
Yeah, and my height is like there's like only like a couple percent, like 2 to
in the world.
2 in the world, 2 to 1%.
That's fucked.
Somewhere like crazy low percent of people are like my height or taller. Crazy low.
Yeah, I guess if you include like
and I think most of them are playing basketball.
What do you mean?
Most of the people my height are taller, I think.
Oh, yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. That's a crazy statistic, bro.
No, 100%. 100%. But that's where, going back to things like just focusing on the journey, like focusing, like, if you're, say you needed to lose weight, all right, for you to jump higher, you need to get lighter and you need to get stronger and more powerful at the same time. If those two things are happening, you're, without a doubt, no question, like just straight up, you're going to be jumping higher. It's impossible. So that's where if you just focus on those things, you're going to get fucking results.
Yeah.
Don't focus on, oh, I'm plateaued. Oh, I'm fucking not jumping, this high, or I feel like I should be doing better, right? So if you start worrying about that and focusing on that, it's going to demotivate you. It's gonna make you unhappy, and it's gonna lead you down a path of wanting to quit or stop. All right.
Put it like this, bro. I just saw before we started the podcast, Jordan Kilgannon do like a 110 hang power clean, and this is a guy who's been training his vertical for 13 plus years, and he's probably only seeing like quarter of an inch, half an inch increase every year at best.
Yeah.
And he's still trying to push his hang power clean, all those kind of lifts just to jump that little bit higher.
Yeah.
So he's like number one example, honestly, of someone who's continued to push.
Yeah. No, facts. And it's just, you gotta, going back to it, said it multiple times, you gotta fucking love the process, man.
Yeah.
Love the process.
Do it for the right reasons.
Yeah. But I don't really have any other points.
No, I think we did good. Kind of, explained what we wanted to say.
If you guys have questions, leave it in the comments on YouTube.
Yeah.
For us, all right, and we'll answer them. If you guys have questions, and we'll answer them, all right. So that'll be really interesting. But if you guys are looking for training, you guys are looking for coaching, you're looking to like see some real fucking results, all right, and train the right way, all right, send us a message on Instagram, podcast, and then we know you're from the podcast, and we'll get you guys sorted from there. And without further ado, we'll catch you guys in the next episode.
See you later.